Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.
Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. It is Friday. I'm Peter Martin. Thank you very much for joining us on the programme. In the studio, as ever, Alan Ruff, and alongside him, Barry Ferguson, to look ahead to the weekend's football. And we have some cracking matches to talk about. Yeah, lots to get our teeth into on this Friday. Of course, we'll be looking back at the 2 Europa League games, as well as 4 English teams take their place in the 2 major European finals. It's been a dramatic week in Europe, but of course it's going to be even more dramatic over the weekend and the penultimate weekend of the Scottish Premiership season. We are getting ready on Sunday for Ibrox Rangers against Celtic. It's always a special game. And of course, the main talking point, Barry, seems to be disciplinary matters.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that he's brought it up this season. Morelos getting sent off a number of times, and then last week Alan McGregor stepping over the line with a bit of stupidity. So I think it's something that's frustrated him, because if you look at the two, they have been main players for Rangers this season. So going ahead, going into next season, he'll be looking for the discipline to improve big time, because you can't be losing important players at important stages of the season.
Is discipline something that Celtic can capitalise on in this match, Ruffy?
It's up to the Rangers players. I only think that indiscipline happens when you're against the cosh or you're not winning. So it's up to Rangers players to obviously get a lead against Celtic. And I think if you get a lead in any of these big games, you can see players relaxing a wee bit more. Temperament, isn't as vulnerable. It's when you go behind and everything, the baggage that comes with it, if you're getting beat 1, 2, 3, nothing, then players tend to lose their discipline. So it's up to Rangers to get on top of Celtic, and I don't think there'll be any problem.
Our reporter Gabriel Antoniazzi looks ahead to the game.
Rangers play Celtic for the 4th and final Old Firm game of the season this weekend, with not as much riding on the match as was once possible, but it is far from meaningless. Celtic have won their 8th title in a row and have a Scottish Cup final to prepare for, but they are keen to make amends for their last Ibrox performance when they were beaten before the winter break. The last Old Firm, at the end of March, saw the Hoops run out 2-1 winners, but since that game, Rangers have won all 5 matches, conceding only 1 goal. The result will be a huge boost to either side going into next season, as Rangers assistant manager Gary McAllister stated earlier this week. In terms of the game itself, both managers feel that keeping their discipline could be key to winning the game.
It's very, very important. It's crucial. It's vital that we have a level of discipline and we keep players on the pitch, important players. I don't know the exact amount of games or minutes, but we've had too many good players missing for important parts of the season.
That's not a tactic I adopt. It's not my problem that they've got a huge disciplinary problem. And if it manifests itself again on Sunday, then we'll try and take advantage of that.
Kieran Tierney is an injury doubt, but suspicions are he will still play, whereas the Gers should still be at full strength, minus their banned goalkeeper, Alan McGregor. They'll be deploying their new 4-3-2-1 formation with a toss-up between the informed Jermaine Dafoe and the divisive but clinical Alfredo Morelos up front. A win does wonders for either manager's record at the end of the year, and as always, it's sure to be feisty. Make sure you're watching midday this Sunday.
If you were a manager, Barry Ferguson, would you start with Dafoe or Morelos?
Dafoe. Simple. I think the last month since he's been out of the team and Defoe's come into the team alongside Stevie Davis, I think Rangers have looked apart. I've seen them plenty of times. I think they're playing good football, and I see a difference in Rangers. I see a confidence flowing through them. It's going to be a hard decision. 2 of them are players that I rate highly, but if you're asking me who I would go with Dafoe.
Ruffy, Gary McAllister mentioned that he thought that it could have a big bearing on what happens next season if they can put in that performance. I don't think it has any bearing, because I think the two teams, one of them I think will change drastically.
Yeah, the only bearing it will have will be if Rangers were to win it, they'd go away from the end of the season, their supporters would be happy. You know, the season tickets would be easier to sell, obviously, in the back of beating Celtic. But you're right, you know, it's what both teams do at the end of the season. You know, Rangers have already indicated that they're going to bring in 2 or 3 players. They'll be disappointed that he never got that centre half there. I think he really fancied him. But you're right, Celtic have played their cards very closely just now, obviously waiting to see who the next manager's going to be, and then they'll probably go in with I think 5 or 6 players.
Yeah, here's what Steven Gerrard had to say on the transfer target, Edson Mexer.
I think you've probably seen the picture in the public domain. I went to watch Rennes v Monaco to analyse a lot of players on the pitch. Bumped into numerous players after the game and was asked for a picture. I think people are putting a lot of speculation out there and stuff. We are looking for centre-backs. Mex is a good player, but what I'm led to believe is he'll be playing his football in France next year. Don't take that as facts, that's just what I'm hearing through the grapevine. But he is a good player who we admire.
Yeah, I'm looking and listening to that answer and thinking to myself, sometimes, as you know, Barry, many a club and many a chairman, many a chief executive and the agents will start throwing names out. I always think they start throwing them out about April, just as the season ticket renewals come in.
Yeah, I think you're bang on, but I keep saying it and I've said it plenty of times, this is a massive summer for Gerrard. I honestly believe that. I don't think he's far away from having a good team, a decent team, and going to mount a serious challenge next season. I think they're 3 or 4, I'd probably say 4. So he needs to get these bang on. He'll know that himself. But again, I think he'll be confident because the chairman's already come out and says that he's willing to back him. So if he's willing to back him, he needs to make these signings are key and come straight into the starting 11.
Yeah, Barry's painted the picture and the stakes for Rangers. I have to be honest with you, Ruffy, this is one hell of a summer for Celtic. I could pick easily 11 players that could go out that door. Some of them will want to go, some of them I would tell them to go, and I think Celtic have got a huge rebuilding job.
Yeah, I think that's a difficult thing you've got, you know, when players are on very, very healthy salaries. Some of them will not want to go, they'll dig their heels in. You're right, some will go, but I think Celtic have got enough money in the kitty to override that. You know, I think eventually the players will leave, but they certainly, if they want to go out and buy players at 4 million, 5 million, they certainly have the cash to do it.
Okay, I've said it once and I'll say it again. With regards to this game, it is the last Old Firm fixture of the season. I think Rangers and Celtic have ruined this match as a spectacle by limiting the away support to only 700, 800 fans. I think it's a nonsense. It's made both of them a laughing stock across the UK and elsewhere. Only in Scotland could we work out ways to shoot ourselves in the foot when it comes to one of the premier A-listed games. And whether they followed Hearts or Hibs in this tit for tat is a complete nonsense, and they should get round the table and sort out the away support and a substantial away support being allowed to watch an Old Firm game instead of this stupid, childish action that they've taken.
Yeah, totally agree with you. I think if you ask any ex-player or current player that's played at Ibrox or Celtic Park, when you've got 7,000 of your own fans there, it makes the atmosphere. It's tremendous to play in. So I can imagine a lot of people say, is it going to help Rangers with having the vast majority of the fans? No, I think some of the players will be disappointed that there's not 7,000 Celtic fans behind that goal. It made it for me, and I've spoke to plenty of players about it, and they all feel the same way.
Yeah, I think players enjoy the support of either side. You know, I always think the hour leading up to the Old Firm games are fantastic. The banter that goes on between two sets of supporters, you know, for whatever reason, they've all got their own slant in their own team. And I think if you're a player walking out in that with everything at its peak, it'd be a fantastic atmosphere to walk out in.
Yeah, fantastic atmosphere, certainly a poisonous atmosphere, certainly an atmosphere at times with certain songs that make us feel ashamed, but it's certainly across the globe one of the most eagerly anticipated matches, sometimes for all the wrong reasons. Let's hope any fans going to the game conduct themselves sensibly and make sure they go to the game and get back from the game safely as well. It's as simple as that. It is, after all, only football. So with that in mind, now that I've given you chapter and verse and it all, let's find out the answer to the quiz and the winner of the quiz. Our competition winner, Barry Ferguson, Alan Ruff, with me as ever on a Friday as we look ahead to the weekend's Premiership fixtures. And as you can see by the Premiership table, the definitive top and bottom getting mightily close to completion, because as you can see there, the top end, the league is won. Now there's a battle for third and fourth place between Kilmarnock and Aberdeen. And down at the bottom end, Ruffy, well, the only thing to be determined now is who's going to the playoff.
Yep, and that'll be a fantastic game at the weekend. I think St Mirren will believe that they're beginning to get a wee rub of the green, getting late goals, picking up points here and there. So for me, I think that'll be a fantastic game at the weekend. I know we're all looking at the teams at the top, but for me, St Mirren and Accies will be jam-packed. I think it'll be a great atmosphere, and I think we'll get a good game.
Yeah, before we get the predictions, let's have a steer on the odds on these games with Gabriel Antoniazzi.
So much happened last weekend, it seems as if there's nothing left to play for. Celtic were confirmed as champions for the 8th time in a row, and we said goodbye to Dundee, who are condemned to the Championship. But there's still a race for third, as well as the all-important 10th place finish and an Old Firm. Let's start with the battle for third as Aberdeen host Hearts on Friday night. The Dons are level on points with Killie and will hope that they can get past Hearts here, who are purely focused on that Scottish Cup final on the 25th of May. Aberdeen for the win at 13-20 for me. Moving on to Kilmarnock, their boss Steve Clarke has just been named manager of the season, and he's desperate to finish as high as possible. They're evens to win at home, which is a great price. Livingston are also at home against the now relegated Dundee. They're only playing for pride and they could be deflated. I think Livy will notch a few goals here and win at least -1, which is 5-2. St Johnstone Motherwell is a typical dead rubber with both teams safe and nearly on the beaches. I think we could see a few more goals here, but I'm not sure on the result. So I'll go for both teams to score at nearly evens. And now we come on to Sunday's game, the final Old Firm of the season. Celtic are desperate to avenge their defeat at Ibrox at the end of December, but Gerrard's side are the in-form team in the country. Alfredo Morelos has never scored against the hoop, and this could be the last time he gets a chance to. He's 9-2 to score the winner. And this week we are treated to a Monday night special. St Mirren host Hamilton Accies, who are 4 points ahead of them in 10th. If the Buddies win, they know they have a chance of staying up automatically. Anything else, and they will contest the playoff. However, I think it will be a draw at 12-5.
No doubt about game of the day on the Saturday. It's Rugby Park. Ruffy, it's Kilmarnock against Hibernian. Steve Clarke's already picked up one Manager of the Year award, and he could pick up another at the Scottish Football Writers event on the 19th of May. But he's got something to play for. Have Hibs got anything to play for? Is it bragging rights in the capital?
Yeah, I think that's what they'll be looking at. They'll be looking at to keep above Hibs in that league. But Kilmarnock are on a bit of form just now. Particularly winning away from home, so I think he'll want to finish the season on a high before he decides what he's going to do.
Yeah, do you think he's going to stay?
Well, he's not going to get the Fulham job now, so I guess the Kilmarnock fans would be desperate, because the job that guy's done there has been unbelievable over the past couple of seasons. Is he going to get the Scotland job? Who knows? I think he'd be a great bet for that. But
is he a great bet for it because they're saying now they're going to announce it in the next 7 to 10 days? So suddenly you get
that with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, you get to the end of the season and suddenly they can make that announcement.
Yeah, for me, if we're talking about Scotland managers, Stevie Clarke or Derek McInnes would be my choices. But I'm sure the Kilmarnock fans will be screaming just now at myself because, as I said, he's done a fantastic job, and that's basically what he took over there. It was a struggling team, and what he's turned them into is proper winners. And they've got no fear either, Peter.
Yeah. And the manager says that he reckons, Greg Taylor's a perfect time for him to be getting a call up to the Scotland squad. Is perfect time for him if he becomes a manager.
Yeah, well, he certainly had a good season. It'd be one out of left field. Obviously, we know the problems we have in that position, and he's had a good season, so he'll know all about him. He's trains with him Monday to Friday, and he sees him at the weekend, so he might be a player for the future.
I think the only problem he's got is he's got Kieran Tierney and Andy Robertson in front of him, but he's certainly a player that's impressed me every time I've watched Kilmarnock.
Well, the reason why I think it's good to flag it up is because obviously Andy Robertson's got the Champions League final, so his mind might be elsewhere. Kieran Tierney's going for an operation, so suddenly you're saying to yourself, maybe.
I think he deserves it, because as I said, every time I've watched Kilmarnock, he has won that's stuck out and played well.
Yeah, okay, here's how Kilmarnock Hibs fits into the fixtures over the weekend if you were thinking about going to a match. Of course, tonight it's Aberdeen against Hearts, then Killie against Hibs, Livingston, Dundee, St Johnstone, Motherwell, Sunday's Rangers Celtic high noon, and then St Mirren against Hamilton on Monday night with a 7:45 kick-off there. So we've discussed Kilmarnock against Hibs, St Johnstone against Motherwell. Flat as a pancake, nothing to play for, Ruffy. Will there be a huge amount of people going to that one?
No, I think there'll be other bigger attendances throughout the league. But I think that I can't separate the two of them here. I'm just going to go for a 1-each draw.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think it's a nothing game, but for me, if you're looking at the quality, I think Motherwell have got a touch more quality in St Johnstone, so I'm going for Motherwell.
Yeah, Livingston against Dundee. Again, Livingston have done their job. They're going to be in the Premiership next season. Dundee, his future's on the line, Jim McIntyre. Does he even need a strong finish to the league now they're relegated, or do you think his fate is already decided?
Yeah, but it looks that way. When they brought him in, I've got to be honest with you, I thought he would have got them out it, because he's a manager that I've always been impressed with. He done, for me, a great job up at Ross County. I thought it was harsh on him getting sacked up there, but I can't see him winning. I think Holt's done a great job at Livingston, and I can only see Livingston winning that game.
It'd be something they could hang on to, and hope that if he was to win the last two games, maybe the owners might say to themselves, well, okay, we've had a disappointing year, but look, some of the players are capable enough to get 2 wins, but I've just got a feeling with a foreign owner, I think it's too late for him.
Yeah, St Mirren against Accies, Ruffy. This one is the last chance saloon for the Saints.
Yeah, I think the Saints are beginning to get a rub of the green. I think the players believe that they can win this game. They're at home. I'm going to go for a St Mirren win.
That'll be a nervy game, that one. So I'm going for a draw.
Yeah. Of course, we mentioned Killie in the battle for third. Aberdeen against Hearts. Hearts might be resting players for the Cup final in mind. Will the Dons be able to put up a strong performance at home?
Yeah, I can only see Aberdeen winning this one, if I'm being honest. Even if Hearts don't rest players and go up with a half-decent team, I think Aberdeen will win this one.
Yeah, I don't think Hearts are playing with any form whatsoever just now, so Craig Levein actually needs to get them back on the rails, but I don't think it will happen tonight.
Yeah, okay, it's going to be an interesting weekend of football. Listen, it will cap off what has truly been, and I think a hand on heart on this one, I don't think I've witnessed a more dramatic week in football, especially with the European games, and I hope we are talking about Rangers against Celtic for all the right reasons at the weekend on the Sunday, but over and above that, down south, they've got the ultimate finish to their league season. Barry, are you in the Man City camp, or is there going to be drama like never before with people in Liverpool crying because they can't believe they've ended that 29-year wait for a title?
I can't see Man City getting beat for the simple fact is it's a great stadium to play in down in Brighton. The pitch is massive, it's like a bowling green, and that will suit Man City down to a T. So I can only see Man City winning a game, and it's harsh on Liverpool, but I can only see Man City winning the league.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Man City as well. I think they've got the big time players to go down there and know what they've got to do in the 90 minutes, and I think they will do it, and I think Liverpool will have to try and lift themselves up for the final.
Yeah, okay, it will be interesting indeed. Just one little footnote, and I think it's rather worrying, apart from the fact that, we've got 4 English clubs contesting the 2 major European trophies. Suddenly Arsenal and Chelsea make it into the Europa League final, but both sets of fans will only be able to try and get 6,000 tickets each. The rest will go everywhere around a 68,700 stadium.
Yeah, I don't get that rule. It's ridiculous. You reach a final and your supporters are only getting 6,000 tickets.
Yeah, and Liverpool and Spurs will only get 16,000 each.
I mean, it's crazy. Look, they've worked so hard throughout the season to get to, obviously I mentioned Tottenham, Liverpool to the Champions League, and then obviously Chelsea and Arsenal to the Europa League. I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, what the problem is, Ruffy, is people on the boards of various places in UEFA who have to keep the prawn sandwich brigade happy.
Yeah, it's just greed, absolute greed, and it's horrendous for the ordinary supporter, who supported their team all year and they won't get a ticket. It's scandalous.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't want to finish on a serious note there with Ruffy. Usually he has a smile on his face as we get ready for the weekend's football. Let's hope indeed you go and support your team and go home safely at the end of it and enjoy your football with all the positive things that we'll be talking about on Monday from Ruffy, Barry and myself. Thanks for watching.
Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.